Hey everyone, Ramel here, and today I'm going to be doing a non-tech related video and show you guys how I set up and use my bullet journal. This is something that I started doing back in 2016 and have stuck to since then. I find that it really helps keep me organized, as well as I really enjoy having somewhere to write down my thoughts and ideas. I also started using my bullet journal more to plan out my YouTube videos, and it's something that I've constantly been using for planning out my side projects. I know there's a lot of different apps out there that I could use if I wanted to keep things digital, but I do really prefer being able to write things down manually, and bullet journaling gives me the flexibility of not being conformed to a certain layout. I can structure the page however I like it and can switch between whatever I feel like at the time. This is also really the only time I ever write things down, so it's also somewhat therapeutic for myself. I'm also not very creative when it comes to my bullet journal. You'll see a lot of other people who do bullet journal and have these crazy spreads and all these different artwork and different colors, washi tape and whatnot, but I keep things very simple and minimal, and I only really use a black pen and a ruler. I use the Luctrum 1917 dotted A5 notebook, but you can use any notebook that you want. I've never used the dotted notebook before, but I like how the dots guide me in breaking up the page or making lines without additional lines getting in the way. These books last me about 2 years. Things are very short form for me. The most space that I do take up is when I draw diagrams and stuff for my side projects. I try to follow the normal template for bullet journaling, as I find that's what has worked best for me so far. I do have some modules that I've added myself, but again, there's really nothing too crazy that I do. I'll go over some of that later in this video. For my keys, I use the dots for tasks, X for completed tasks, the O for events, exclamation mark for important things, and I use the $sign when I end up buying things or if I needed to be reminded to do something money related, like pay bills or make sure there's enough funds in this account and whatnot. But yeah, to start every year, I start with the future log. I do this for the whole year instead of just 6 months at a time. I like being able to keep all of this together, and if things happen way down in the future, I'm able to just write it down here without having to wait or forget about it. So all of my months are together. Here I'll write down future events that I know are coming, like birthdays, trips, or vacations. The next section is where I have my yearly goals, and this I haven't gotten around to yet for 2020, but I hope to finish this soon. I like to write down all of the things that I hope to do in the year, and I try to refer to these pages as much as possible to remind myself what my overarching goals are. So for example, this YouTube channel, I do want to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Hopefully I get that sooner, but if I get it by the end of the year, I'll be happy. So I'll take this and then kind of try to break it down and put it for my monthly goals as well. And I do have some gaming related goals as well. So for example, Counter-Strike, I want to get Legendary Eagle by the end of the year. And for iRacing, I want to have a 2K iRating with a safety rating of Class A 4.0. And that's pretty much all I do for my yearly stuff. I don't do anything else besides these, but like I said, I try to refer to these as much as possible when I do my monthly stuff, just to remind myself what I'm really working towards for the end of the year. After the yearly goals come the monthly breakdown. I do this once a month, and to start off with, I write down the calendar. So I write down all of the days of the month on this page, and I check my future log to see if there are any events, and if there are, I write them down here. Once I'm on that month, I tend not to write anything in that future log anymore, but I keep it all in this monthly breakdown. If something does happen in the future, then that's when I'll update my future log. And beside the monthly calendar, I have my monthly goals, and this is usually smaller things that aren't really yearly, but these are more towards side projects that have deadlines this month. And I like to break down my yearly goals into smaller ones. So for example, that YouTube one, to reach the 1,000 subscriber mark. I feel like I would have to get 300 subs in January. And I also started writing down my YouTube videos that I'm going to be making for that month here, where the page number where I have the notes and stuff for that specific YouTube video, so I can reference it quickly and jot down notes as I go. The next section is my habit tracker. This is really simple. I just have the days of the month at the top, and I have a list of habits that I want to do or keep track of during the day. I want to make sure that I am sticking to these ones, so I want to see X's for all of them. I know it's not possible for some of these, but I want to do my best to kind of be consistent when it comes to these habits. And yeah, I will continue to work on these ones throughout the year. I also have this media tracker where I like to write down what I want to watch or play during the month. I do my best to get through the movies and TV shows, but when it comes to the games, I'm actually quite bad in finishing single player games. I don't think I finished any game in 2019, and I hope to finish at least one game in 2020, but I do stick more towards the esports titles. That's pretty much all I use the daily for. I write down what I'm going to do during the day. If I have any random thoughts or ideas, I jot them down here. And if I really expand on ideas, I go to a new page, and then that way I can index it later. But if it's just like a random thought, I try to just jot things down. And if I come back to it, then good. If not, then it was just a thought of the day. But when they are bigger ideas or bigger things, then I try to use the full page and scribble down my thoughts there. And for my YouTube videos, like I said earlier, I started using this more. I was using Notion prior, and I was typing things up, but with just like my side projects, I do like being able to write things down manually. I feel like I'm a little bit more creative that way. I get the creative juices flowing more when I'm not looking at a screen, especially when it comes to the shots. For this little back pocket thing, I keep my ruler in here, and that's pretty much it. If I go on flights and stuff, I stick things in here as well. Like plane tickets, train tickets, and it's pretty cool. At the end of the year, I just have a booklet of these tickets, and they just stay there. I don't really do anything too crazy with them. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to my bullet journal. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below.